Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's that time again. I'm Sonia,
I'm Joy.
and you are joining Empower Yourself TV, our weekly live on YouTube. Thanks for joining again. Today, we're continuing from where we left off last week. The week flew so
I
fast,
know
huh?
it went by. We was just talking about that.
Oh
Like it
my
flew
God,
by.
whatever you're doing, guys, just do it because the time flies so fast. And today I'm channeling Punky Brewster. Do you like? Anyway,
Super cute.
thank you. So we're gonna go back into I wanna say repair and regeneration and health acts. I wanna like focus a little bit on three of them that I think or two, depending on time. So anything fun happened last week related to your cleansing or anything you wanna speak
No,
about?
I wouldn't say I fell off, but I just been eating more like comforty type stuff, and I guess I ain't gonna say that I felt bad, but I haven't really felt my best. I see the difference
Yeah,
from when I was cleansing.
yeah.
I can just tell the difference.
I was
Like,
I was saying to Joyce that when I'm doing straight vegetation, high water content, I feel more vitality and
mm-hmm,
not when I'm having like the heavy the beans and the all that other
mm-hmm,
comfort stuff.
mm-hmm,
It it slows me down. It
mm-hmm,
makes me feel a little heavier, a little more bloated,
mm-hmm.
and then I'm not as regular.
Mm-mm.
And
It's
that
like your
is,
pipes is clogged.
yeah, and that's more my cue. So now I'm kind of getting, I want to say, addicted to just high water content. So I'm still tweaking. But anyway, oh, sorry guys,
That's
I'm
what
going to
we
turn that.
I had Sonya go get a watermelon. She's like, Kroger's has got seeded watermelon. So we was excited about that because of the high water content in the watermelon. So
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
light and it goes
Yeah.
through your body
It
so
does quick.
easily, and you don't feel bloated and you don't feel uh, like you're bordering constipation.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm gonna touch on enemas, which is taboo for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And once I understand the whole point of enemas, in case you guys don't know what that is, it's like irrigation from your butt up into the intestines, trying to help the body to get rid of all of that impaction over time, build up, and what's left after the body does is assimilation and absorption. It's like a garbage can waiting for evacuation.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of in the naturopathic, I want to say, and the health conscious world, they have incorporated that because we now understand how crucial keeping the gut clean is, or keeping the gut away from the buildup and the parasites and all of that stuff, because you want whatever you're eating to be absorbed. And if you're impacted, it's gonna be hard. So that's the whole point of eating. So you're helping the body to operate at its maximum and optimum. Anyway, I want to talk about fasting, and I've done like now. Our routine is we do hours of no food. You can call it fasting. Sleep is fasting because you're not eating during sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So what we have done is extended the time, and the term they use is intermittent.
Yeah.
I don't want to say intermittent or whatever, because that's now the new thing. I just want to say you're allowing the body to
Giving the body a
repair
break.
itself with no food in, or little to no food in, but primarily you should have no food in the stomach because the body cannot digest at the same time as it's repairing. So you're facilitating the body's processes by just fasting or just avoiding food. And I'm going to list some benefits, which is why I started doing it, because I'm excited about the benefits, you know. Um, it is, they call it a miracle grow for your neurons, for the brain, meaning that it stimulates that function. I know for people who have Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, that's probably one of the things they have issues with, the firing of the brain in terms of focus, in terms of clarity and thinking. So abstaining from eating food too frequently and having your body do without any type of assimilation, processing, digesting does facilitate that. The other thing it does, it produces what's called mitochondria. Mitochondria is your energy center. The powerhouse, right? So fasting helps with that. It decreases inflammation. A lot of the pain and the discomfort and the beginning of diseases and long-term disturbance is always related to inflammation. And inflammation, one of the root is acidosis, when you're having too much acidic food, but not just the acidic food. When you have too much in mucus forming food, it makes the body more alkaline. You know, starches, sugar, meat, all of that stuff is more acidic because you need acid to break it down. So we err on the side of more alkaline, which is plants. So fasting does help with mitochondria. It also helps with regulating blood sugar. So it makes insulin, and it allows us to, because after a while when you have issues with sugar, it's like the insulin stop working. So fasting kind of help to stimulate that, so you have better absorption or better transformation of the sugar into energy for use. It stimulates what's called autophagy, and all this stuff you can read up. You know, this is not new, it's been around, and this is information from the experts. Autophagy is where your body is able to renew damaged cells. So I remember before I got into this and doing my research, they used to say like brain cells, you couldn't reproduce or regenerate brain cells. And now I realize that none of that makes sense. The body, I mean, like, the body is so intelligent that it can actually renew any cell at all, given the right fuel, the right environment. The other thing is it increases antioxidants. You know, antioxidants fight free radicals, and free radicals are like when you cut an apple and it has to do with oxidation, turns brown. That's what's happening. So, fasting helps with slowing that down, slowing the decay or the oxidation in our bodies. It increases the different type of microbes that's essential for your gut bacteria, and that helps with cleansing as well. We call it microbiome. Improves your microbiome, which is your good bacteria, because there's bacteria in your stomach, good and bad, and you want to create an environment to foster good bacteria, which is microbiome. And that's the new thing now that they're talking about in gastrointestinal research, you know, what can facilitate microbiome. We're familiar with prebiotics and probiotics, which are good bacteria as well. It builds immune system, so you help to kill a lot of that pathogens that's harmful. It increases stem cells, which increases your ability to fight harmful stuff that will come upon you or stuff that might lead to diseases. It breaks down fat, And fat cells, when you break that down when you're fasting, just like people who have done these diets like Atkins, that's
Don't
what
talk
it did.
about me.
People like you would try everything under the sun.
Uh,
It
watch it now.
yeah, when you break down fat, you release ketones, and ketones is very integral to brain function. The brain thrives off ketones, and it improves, like I said, and ketones necessary for brain function, focus and clarity and all of that stuff. It builds muscle because it prevents the breaking down of protein, and you need protein to build muscles. And it makes the body stronger and fitter. I mean, who knew that abstaining from food has so many benefits?
Exactly.
And it improves relaxation. It helps with the good feeling hormones, so you're not as agitated, you're not as anxious. And I tell you, that's what had happened when I done my 12-day fast. I was in this like lull, almost like intoxicated.
You was high.
Yes, it felt so good. I just didn't like the stuff in my mouth.
Yeah.
And it helps with, one of the things that happens to us with food, our heart start to get more rigid, part of like leading to heart disease, and it affects blood pressure. What fasting does, it downplays the rigidity. So that also helps with relaxation. So you're able to handle more stress when the heart is less rigid. And we're living in like a stressful world now. So
it's crazy right
whatever can go into the bank of de-stressing, and this is one of them, fasting, try to incorporate it. And I want to say too that when people hear fasting, they're thinking abstaining from food the whole day. And I'll hear people say, "Oh, on earth you do that? I don't. How can you not eat?" But we have gotten so conditioned to eating. I'm sure when we were on the plantation, we weren't eating as much. But
probably
those people
doing more
had
herbs. You would think. I bet you they was picking.
I'm sure picking stuff, but definitely, you think they could be doing those 6 meals every minute.
They wasn't getting fed.
Yeah.
We got the leftovers anyway.
Yeah, I'm like, you think they probably was eating 1 meal a day, but look, they must have been strong to be doing all that work
out in that hot sun.
Exactly.
But we need the sun, y'all.
Yeah. But it goes to show that we're probably, now the experts said to us that we need to eat 3 meals, 6 meals plus snack. And just think about that. Just think about the load on your body. The pressure of constantly, I was saying to Joy earlier that I was driving, and there's a Mercedes in front of me, and I was thinking, my mind, I'm always in the clouds. And I was thinking, if only we would treat our bodies like they were Mercedes Benz, with people who I know own Mercedes Benz, unless they're old, they're not putting no regular gas in there. They're doing premium.
And they washing it every other day.
And they're cleaning it, and it's piquant. There's so much care.
Smell better than them.
It's into handling it. And here we are treating our bodies like a little pot.
Just disrespectful.
Yeah. So I think we were built and designed perfectly. And we started out with, I don't want to say perfect raw material, because now mothers feeding their babies also. They're eating the stuff. But I want to say we started out with perfect building material, or optimal. But we get into here and we start to have less than quality material that supposedly should be building this house of a body. Not just physically, but emotionally and mentally and chemically and electrically and spiritually. Because to me, that's what food is. But we're not giving it the type of building material, and the premium gas for efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
So think about lifespan of the Mercedes if we were to treat it like crap. It wouldn't last.
Mm-hmm.
But with us, or it would be constantly in the repair shop for maintenance. With us, that's what we're doing. We're constantly under maintenance. What does that mean? We're not really functioning. Because when the car is in the shop, it's shut down, it don't function. It's waiting to be repaired, waiting for whatever
Getting
it
this
needs
IV.
to get it back together. With us, the intelligence of the body, it either shut you down, which is why we get the diseases or the pain and whatever. But we're constantly having the body always repairing itself, repairing itself, repairing itself. But it's not really repairing itself optimally because we're constantly feeding.
Chewing.
I don't know of any animals that eat constantly the way we eat. So no wonder we have all these issues with pain and breakdown and disease and lethargy and tired, and we're sleeping half our life away because when you eat and the body is working, you just feel tired. You just want to sleep on the couch. And you go to bed with food on your stomach and it's still working. So you wake up and you're like, I didn't even sleep. So these are the things that we're kind of like putting so much pressure on the body. So no wonder it's cutting itself short, or it's starting the diseases earlier. It's like I was listening to this guy today and he was talking about cancer, and he says, let's say cancer, because all of his point is that all of us have good and bad cells in us, cancer being one of them. And can't say cancer or any cell that's not so great, you call that the criminal. So the cancer cell is a little criminal inside of you. But when you start to foster an environment that doesn't support healing, then it becomes organized crime.
Yeah.
I nearly pop up, but
he
it
so
was our
right.
point. It was like it just started to overtake, and then it loves the sugar, so it started to and then just think about it. You have organized crime. After a while, they're just going to get rid of a whole neighborhood, you know? And that's the same thing. I mean, the analogy was so on point when I was listening to it. So I think for us, one of the health acts or the, functioning repair regeneration hack is definitely fasting. And I would suggest try and start to skip a meal or 2 meals. I am wanting to just have fruits and then maybe one decent meal.
If you want to.
Because I just feel
sometimes
so.
You don't feel like. I've been times where I just like I don't even really want to eat. But it's just like so stuck in my head. They're like, oh, I gotta eat something, but I really could go and not eat and be fine.
We hear that,
but yeah, it's
we
like
fear that because I have a friend. He called and he said that he has COVID, right? And he's before he even got it, he said he was exposed. But anyway, so he's in the hospital, because he wasn't feeling well. So I was saying to him, you know what, just for the time you're off, just come off all that food. If you have to eat the juices and the fruits. Just do the juice because the tea, the herb tea. So I mailed him some herb tea to have, because now I know how the body functions just from precedence when it isn't having flu or it's sick or anything. Even when you have cancer or anything, you have no appetite. So the body is trying to shut down the digestion so it can heal itself. And I was trying to say the same thing. So he told me he had some oats, and I'm thinking about what he's having, which is all more soft to support mucus and to support inflammation and to support acidosis. But because the programming is that you have to eat, he's feeling, okay, and he's always thinking about food. What am I going to eat? And we're preoccupied with food. Every chance we get, and I can't say I'm totally not there either, but no, The food I'm thinking about, okay, what fruit am I going to eat? But I think I still should cut back more, after I do my fast. I should really cut back on just eating because I just feel so much better when I'm not constantly eating,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I need to just start to stop eat after
Yeah.
a certain hour. So that's where we are, where the programming
Mm-hmm.
of eating all these meals and everything surrounding gatherings involve
Yeah.
food.
And it's funny, not to cut you off, but I had watched Queen Sugar because I'm still watching TV, but and if my family's watching, I'm talking about y'all, but because we watch it together sometimes, and when you was talking about the programming, I can't think of Charlie, one of the characters is named Charlie. She was sick when
Mm-hmm.
they're bringing in the whole COVID into the show, and she ends up getting COVID. And so I thought she was having a panic attack, but it ended up being the COVID. But her ex ended up coming to like help her back to, get her back together. And that was the first thing that he, like, when she started getting her energy back, like her body completely shut down, which, like you said, that's what it does. But then he was talking about, well, let me go downstairs and get you some chicken broth. And I said, oh, no, we was doing great. I had hope. I was like, yes, this is my favorite black show. And they're letting Charlie just, fast and she's going to get past it. And when he brought up the damn chicken broth, I was just like, I'm done. I said, here we go. So I just wanted to bring that up to let you know that even them bringing that in, like, that's what we do. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
want to feed, we want to chew and eat and
Mm-hmm.
all this. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no,
Mm-hmm.
just get you some liquid and some teas if you want
Yeah.
that. Even if you don't even want that, I still believe you'll be fine.
And for people who are religious, even with
Yeah,
the
they
Muslims,
fast. And
they
then
have
ain't Ramadan's getting
Ramadan,
ready to
but
start.
they do Ramadan
But they eat
because,
later though, I think.
yeah,
So they
but
kind of do like an
their
intermittent.
intention for Ramadan is to honor those people who are starving. I never knew that.
Oh, I didn't either.
Yeah, it was surrounding the fact that they are standing in solidarity with people who are unable to eat, but
Mm.
not unable to eat, but don't have
Mm-hmm.
what to eat. I thought it was, like the clarity and
Yeah,
all
that's
of
what I
that
thought it was
stuff.
to, like,
I
get
know
like direct
Christians.
downloads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know Christians. I don't think they fast for healing of the body. They fast more for what is it they want? They want God to honor a desire. That's what, if I can remember right, fast for that. And they fast for a breakthrough. They even fast for sickness, but they're still eating.
Still
So
eating the
yeah,
pork butt.
yeah. But I remember even in the story of Jesus, he always stepped away, or he did a 40-day away from everybody else. He, stepped away from his regular routine and abstained from feeding, just for a closer connection with his father, according to the scriptures. For us now, I understand you can do that. I think for me now, I understand that when you do not eat, you're allowing the body to cleanse, one, to offload all these extras that it cannot function optimal. And functioning optimal is not just physical either. It is spiritual. There's something happens, I think, when
Mm-hmm.
you eat vegetation. I mean, I know it happens to me. The
Mm-hmm.
alertness and the sharpness, and then
And
you know,
everything's heightened.
everything is heightened. The sensitivity, the discernment, things like just coming, just showing up. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It just, it's almost like magic.
Mm-hmm.
But now I understand, because what it is you are aligning with your spirit self,
Mm-hmm.
which is light.
Mm-hmm.
It just ease and flow.
Flow.
But in the body, if you're taking stuff on, you're just weighing yourself down. So it's hard for you to hear. You
Mm-hmm.
want to hear the
Mm-hmm.
still small voice.
Mm-hmm.
Hear Listen to your internal guidance system, the unction and the intuition and the perception. Those are the senses you want to heighten.
Mm-hmm.
So you can wake up one day and say, okay, you feel something that says, Sonia, don't take this turn, don't go that way. That's where I think fasting brings you in terms of resonating in your spiritual beingness because of the clarity. It's not overshadowed because whether we like it or not, food does violate, for lack of a better word,
Mm-hmm.
or it changes, it does something to you, all the different emotionally, physical, because it's information, it's data. It
Mm-hmm.
merges with you. With herbs, which is one of the reasons why I think plants and the herbs work, is
Mm-hmm.
because it's just anchored in the earth.
Mm-hmm.
The earth has so many nutrients, like magnetic properties,
Mm-hmm.
that we also need in our body, but it gets both. It gets the sun, the air, and it's rooted in earth,
In the water.
in the water. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
getting so much of nature, which if it's getting that and it's vibrating, because if you look up like the frequency of food, you can see some food vibrate higher,
Mm-hmm.
or meaning that the level of energy in it is higher than other foods. So if you're eating high energy food, then of course it's compatible with your DNA and what is in you to have you um vibrate there too.
Mm-hmm.
you know and I know plants are high frequency food, high frequency fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is imperative to start to look at food now as building blocks, like we said, fuel, and what exactly do I want out of this body. And I think also we have to look at food is energy.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what is it you're doing, how much energy do you really need for what is it you're doing? Somebody who's labor, high, is a labor intensive job. I would imagine back in the day in slavery, you need more energy. So you probably had to take in more fuel. But a lot of us, we're sitting at a desk, we're not exercising,
Mm-hmm.
we're eating. I mean, you have some brain power, you're using that. But if you're not expending and you're just taking in, taking in, taking in, after a while, of course, you're going to put on weight, definitely, because it's stored energy. But also, can we eat in alignment with how much energy we really need? We really don't need that much for optimal functioning, depending on
Mm-hmm.
what is it you're doing. And I see it a lot. Look at kids now who are on their gadgets and their home and not much
Just
exercise
dumbing
going
us
on.
down.
Yeah. It's you don't need that much energy because
Mm-hmm.
you're not expending it in any type of activity. So I think we have to start to make the connection and change how we look at food,
Mm-hmm.
because it's really information, it's really data. It's there to help build this and facilitate function and facilitate communication. Because I do believe when you do eat animals that suffer, it gotta come into your body somehow.
You
That have
taking
to
that
You're
in.
taking that
That's
in. You
why it's
have
all
to.
this rage and
The
stuff
anger
going
and
on.
the anxiety, and it
Mm-hmm.
because it does violate
The depression.
something that's going on in you. I don't care what they say about that to me about, okay, it doesn't do anything. So for me, it's not to say, okay, you can't have meat, you know, but it's like, is it a necessary food? Does it really fulfill all the categories of what food should be at a sitting? Can you find a substitute that's going to give you what you get from that. Some people say no, there are things in nutrients in meat that you don't get elsewhere. But I know people who doing this stuff is like there's this lady who has been plant based. What's her name again?
Is it
Atkins
Annette?
Annette
Annette.
Larkin. She's like probably 76 now. Her
Mhm.
husband's been in the hospital. She eats live food for years. The lady looked
Mhm.
like 40 something years old. She's
Mhm. She
76.
looks really
Her
good.
husband was in the hospital,
And he had
tubed up.
diabetes.
He had all, because he refused to eat like
He still
her.
wanted to eat his fried
Yeah,
chicken.
and then he was constantly deteriorating. And she never really, she kept loving him.
Mhm.
I don't know if she
And
was
now he's
fixing
done. Now he's
whatever.
done come over to
And
the
now
other
he's
side.
360. I'm like, all those years you have to
Woo.
go try and turn around because now you're faced with mortality.
I wonder if she cooked for him.
Boy, I don't know, girl. I
Cause
don't
I
know if
can't
she
see her.
did.
I can't see her picking up a piece of chicken. I can't see her
Well, her
touching it.
son is also plant based,
Yeah.
and I
So he
guess
must have cooked his
she
own
hasn't
stuff.
eaten meat and she looked like a bill of health to me and she
Mm-hmm.
exercises every day. I
Mm-hmm.
think she walks, she grows her own food in her
Yeah.
house
She don't do
or in a
nothing like
whatever.
super
And she
crazy.
make yeah, she make her stuff. So I mean there's enough fruit on the tree to say, there's an alternative and plants has. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but
Mm-hmm.
I do believe you have to work out your own salvation. And if
Mm-hmm.
you are doing this thing for 40 years, 30 years, 50 years, and it has brought you here, and you're not well, you don't feel well, pain all over your body. Every minute you're in the doctor's office for one thing or the other, and you're on medication. Every day you have to pop a pill. Oh my Lord, what happened here? Every day you have to pop a pill. I'm like, at some point, the light, oh shoot, at some point, the light bulb has to go off to say, you know what, I have to stop myself in my tracks because the thing I have been doing all this time has brought me here. If I want to be in a different space in the next couple of years towards
Mm-hmm.
the ending, I can't continue doing that. And it's not just food, it's finances, it's relationship, it's whatever. If I'm in a relationship it doesn't work, and this is what the same mindset that brought me to this can be the same mindset that's going to take me here. So I
Mm-mm. You
have to
gotta make a
change it.
shift.
You have to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever disturbance or unrest, if you don't have no money, the information that you have has brought you to here where you don't have no money. So it can be that same information that's going to take you to some money or peace of mind. And that's how I look at food now, which is why I'd switch when I was having all those pains, pain in a joint, pain in my foot bottom, digestive issues for 10 years, head hurt, back hurt, can't run, knee, can't lounge. I'm like, this is crazy. So I can't continue on the same path and thinking that it will get better. That is madness. So
Mm-hmm.
I chose to change.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not where I want to be, but definitely I'm
You
nothing
going,
where I
yeah.
used to be. And I never felt better, like I said before. And this is available to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Try and sit down and say, you know what, this is not working. So that's for fasting. Let's talk about enemas now. And enemas is something that when I just got started 4 years ago, sorry guys, I don't know what is going on
Just turn
here.
the volume down.
I did, it's down. Um, Enemas is something when I just got started, I used to do 5, 6 days a week because I know I was impacted and I had all this
Mm-hmm.
major issues, digestion, and I was just over the pills, the Pepsid and the Nexium and the Tums and the antacids. I
Mm-hmm.
was, I couldn't eat anything, but I was eating the very thing that was aggravating me. I was eating. I'm like, that is just like
That's
crazy.
crazy.
And then I
Mm-hmm.
said, don't know, I'm down to 3, 4 days. And because I'm now understanding that it's the waste inside of me and I just don't want it to stay in there. So
Mm-mm.
I'm
Get that
big on
shit
get
out.
that. Yeah, exactly. Get it out so your body can repair itself and your body can regenerate and your body can function with vitality. And it has served me well because
Mm-hmm.
I feel so much better. So we're not here to tell you that this is the end all be all. And I don't think that I can say to you that I'm super healthy. I don't know for sure. But I can follow what was it I feel. I feel awesome compared to
Mm-hmm.
what it used to be. So I must be doing something
Something right.
right. And I know health is kind of relative because you can be fine today and not so fine tomorrow. But I am putting everything in favor of supporting my body. And I might not be 100%, or you might not be 100%, but it's close. It's better than the other stuff because the other stuff is putting you far away from the 100%. And this is offering you oxygenation, alkalinity. It's not acidic. You need a, the balance of
Balance.
both. It's high fiber, it's high hydration. Those are all the building blocks for the body and for health and vitality. So if I'm choosing to do this, I gotta be closer to healthy than unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And we're saying, guys, there's an alternative. So I want to show you
You got
the
the
enema
enema bag,
stuff. Yeah,
or you want the
I mean, you can talk about it, but I use the
where's
clay.
the clay?
Yeah,
That's the
this is
clay.
what I source. I have a herb lady, and that's where I get my herb teas from. And I take that daily.
You got those.
I do sell them too. There's one for mothers, if you're a pre-mother or a post-mother breastfeeding, that she offers as well, like Senna
Yeah.
Cascara, Sagrada, Catnip, Mullein. There's a multitude of stuff. So I'll make this and I'll have my lemon. I'm getting more vigilant with the lemon daily because now I understand that it's an astringent and how imperative it is to cleansing. So I'm trying to do both cleansing and feeding because that's what the body does. The body does the cleansing, it's constantly moving stuff out, point A to point B in a timely manner. Um, so this would be three, and it has magnetic properties, which is why at first when I heard of it, I was like, "Oh, we're going to put dirt," because I was thinking it's red clay.
We from the dirt.
Yeah, but then I realized we worked in the spa. When you're going to the spa and you're doing a clay mask or you're doing a body wrap with clay and seaweed
Mud.
and mud, what do you think that is? And that gets absorbed into your bloodstream. So you're actually eating it through your skin and you have no
I
idea that that's
did.
what you're doing. Because even when you eat an apple or you eat any fruit or any vegetable, where you think that's coming from? It's absorbing all of the magnetic properties from the dirt in a more refined way that's palatable to us. But it's really the dirt you're eating, the plants eat up with all of that nourishing stuff in there. And then we just eat it, and that's the building blocks of our body. And when we die, where you think this house goes? Back to where we borrow
Back
it. We're
to.
borrowing all the earth in the form of lettuce and tomato and cucumber and apple and banana. That's earth we're borrowing. So when you die, you have to give back what you borrowed to the earth, which is this body. So it made sense to me that earth, I do drink it, you know, and if it's good for appetite suppressant, I
It will
don't.
curb your
You are
appetite.
more religious with it. I don't do a lot of it. I'm trying to
I
do
done fell
better.
off since
You
I
fell
did
off?
well because when I do the lemon is so intense, and when you do those together, I have to be ready. And sometimes it's just too much. It's too intense.
Yeah.
So it's either one or the other.
Yeah.
And so I took a little break from the clay, but I do it at least 3 times a week. But I was doing it 7.
I know. She was like nuts.
I was
Cleaning, cleaning,
obsessed.
cleaning, cleaning, cleaning. And I was like, Joy, you have to allow the body
Sometimes
to
twice.
do what it not, because just think about it. If the arm move like this and after a while you start to move it, or it gets lazy, it doesn't want to do no work. So I said, no, you have to allow the peristaltic movement to do what it does. And she tried it and it was fine.
Yeah.
That made sense with me from day one. I don't want to do anything for the body that the body automatically does for itself.
Especially when we was like going on vacation. I was like, this is just not it.
Yeah.
So,
It's tough.
except for I went to Jamaica. Sonia, she from Jamaica, so she know you have everything that you need over there as far as fruit and stuff, callaloo and all that stuff. That stuff just moves just right. And everything's organic, natural, like it's supposed to. It's not no lie. Because, we get stuff over here saying organic and natural and all that shit's bullshit. But over there, it's like totally different and your system just works like clockwork.
Yeah. Because you were having constipation when you went there.
And when I went there and I didn't have no problem. And I brought my Enemas stuff, but we were so like loving nature that I forgot. Like, not that I forgot, but it's like I was just enjoying the water. Yeah, and we was going so much that I didn't really want to do it. And then I was going. So I'm like, what's the point? And I want to really enjoy my vacation because, doing the enema, the whole protocol, it's a lot, not a lot of time, but it's at least you take 2 hours out of it, which is not a lot. But when you're loving yourself, it shouldn't matter. But
and I wanna, if you guys are interested in getting this, I'll give you the herb lady that you can call her, and she's gonna talk to you. If you have any ailment or issues, her protocol is vegetation, cleansing,
be ready,
teas. She's straight up about stop killing yourself.
Yeah. And don't call if you planning on staying on the meats because that's the first thing she's gonna tell you just to get off. Yeah, get off the meat.
And
the bentonite, that's my baby right there.
Sweating, because detoxification through your pores also helps. Exercise, which I alluded to last week, help as well. In the absence of these, you can do lemons. 4 big organic lemons to a gallon of distilled water. And you can, make sure all of that. You're trying to keep each amount inside you at least as long as you can before you flush it out. And you just make sure you do the whole liter. It's gonna take some time. You have to carve out like about an hour. And I'll show you. Or you can do coffee. A lot of the cancer medical practices, most of them outside of the US, they do part of the protocol is enema. And people are recovering.
And the colonic too.
And the colonic work. I've done it twice. I'm not. And
it's just water. So I like the clay because, like you said, the clay pulls, but they do put them on the colonic. So
because you want to cleanse cellularly, because we're eating stuff that's undermining us cellularly. We're eating a lot of stuff that's just going that we need to somehow. The herbs help, but it's all of it. It's not what the body doesn't function or it's this as a health is not compartmentalized. It's not just you're doing herbs and you're not eating well. It doesn't work. Or you're doing enema, you're still eating the crap. Or you have to have some kind of system that you're moving towards. This is going to be your lifestyle. This is what I am going to do daily. This is what you're making a commitment to yourself and the wealth of self. That you know what, I value myself so much that I have to take care and steward this body to the best of my ability because it is here to serve me. If I'm not well, I can't, what's the point? What's the point of amassing all of this stuff and you don't feel sick? You don't feel well. That's when you realize what the priorities are. Because when you're sick, you're not interested in anything else. So
I was gonna say, don't fall into the trap of like a lot of this vegan stuff that's coming out now. Because now I think everybody's going, plant based. So there's a trap out there. So you kind of have to be careful. We can talk about that later. But I'm just like, just be careful, like with the vegan.
Just stay away from processed.
Yeah, just try to
vegan or not. Right. Stay away from processed.
Try to closer to nature.
Yeah. And don't make it be too far removed from the original source of what it looks like.
Because you
Yeah.
have to transition. I understand, like, you just can't just completely come off of the meat, but just be careful because there's a lot of processed, stuff in boxes and bags. And, if you can, I'm not saying not to use none of that stuff, but just
It's
try to
pure
limit.
mucus. It's
Yeah,
pure acidic.
it's going to be acidic to the system. So just kind of,
Yeah.
because then you'll end up going back to where you
Yeah,
started, because you can still have disease. Like, that's one thing I get a little frustrated about, because you can still get a disease or
be
or
inflamed,
have pain back.
still have
Yeah, just
acidosis.
all the high starch, the carby
Yeah.
stuff, like that stuff will still make you feel bad.
Yeah.
So it's eating the right type of plants and and the fruits, pretty much everything with a seed, just eat, like you said, light, like we're like seeing it now, because we were excited about this lifestyle. It was like, oh, we got all this stuff we can try, and we were excited about it. But I'm just saying, just be careful, that's all. Just because of we're 4 years in, so we see the kind of setbacks, because it'll set you back real tough. And you just don't want to be in pain and having to go to the doctor, for, these diseases, when you can clear all that stuff up yourself. That stuff will trap you really hard. And it'll get so addicted. Like, it's like something that they putting in there that it's like your taste buds. You just want more, So just be careful. That's all I'm saying. And I'm only saying that because it happened to me. That's why I can say that.
So with the enema bags, and they're at pharmacies, you have to put it together
like Walgreens.
You pull this and you pour. Girl, this thing's so darn tight.
I don't even know.
This is the tip you have fixed.
Know if I can get
you can put some coconut oil on it, and coconut oil on your anus, just for smooth,
lube up that butthole.
Yeah, transition into the butt.
I can't get that off.
And then you do on your left. But you have an idea of what nobody taught me how to do this.
This is actually the clay that's blended up. And that's what she was saying, that once you blend the clay up in here, you're gonna use all of this, of course, and you just pour it in there. So yeah. And then you hang it.
Yeah, hang it somewhere in the bathroom, and elevated, so it can come down. And then you can either lay on your fours or preferably fetal position on your left side. With coffee, you do the right side, because that's where there's what's called palmitorates. That's also in your liver. So it connects with the coffee, so it cleans. Because the liver is where you have a lot of that filtration of toxins. So it pulls that out as well. And for those cancer places, they do like half of this, but they do it frequently during the day. I think 2 to 3 times a day they're doing enema, and they do just vegetation soups.
Wow.
And
that's
raw.
A lot.
Yeah,
but I heard you gotta go so aggressive though with the cancer.
Yeah, because it's toxic. The body is toxic, and then especially if you have chemo, that's poison. So the poisons line those cells, and you're trying to create an environment of removing all of the poisons and the toxicity, so the body can begin. So you have to be aggressive, because that darn thing is like organized crime. It's overtaking everything. So the thinking that we're going to use a poison to correct what's already in a position of disrepair,
right?
Because you're toxic, it just don't logically make sense to me. So that's and the coffee you want to get, I think, is they recommend semi-roasted. I've tried both.
Yeah, I haven't done the coffee. Yeah. I've done Lemonades.
You have done Lemonades. Yeah, and then people do garlic too. I've tried the garlic.
That garlic's intense, and it will pull them parasites out.
Yeah.
And you can definitely hit us up. If y'all are interested, we can definitely walk you through all of this and product, like just
What's Adama's number if you guys want to call her and source your own, clay and stuff? That hell. Her number is 678-760-9299, 678-760-9299. She's Mother Earth's Blessing Holistic Life Center.
And then for whoever, if y'all listening this here in Atlanta, She's off of Cheshire Bridge, 1830 Cheshire Bridge Road. So you can just
Right.
actually just show up and get your product there
Product
too.
going. Okay.
Yeah.
So herbs, fasting, fruits, vegetation, enemas. That's what we have been doing, and it has made a difference. And this is something you guys can think about doing if you don't need to get the clay. I like the clay because the clay does the magnetic stuff. The lemon is more an astringent. They all work. It's no one thing, but now I understand how our body is. Where air, earth, sun, people don't understand that. But because I'm on this journey now, I understand. When I say air, it means we're breath. We can't live without breathing. When I say earth, because we're borrowing everything from the earth to build this. That's where all our food comes from, the earth. We need water. Our body is over 70% water. We need, we're sun, 98.6 degrees. We have a temperature. So we're heat as well. So we're like a composition of those four elements. And then we're space. There are pockets of air space all over us. So we're like a microcosm of what's outside there. So we need that to sustain us. So all of it makes sense when, I'm like, I'm not going to frown and say, okay, I'm not going to drink this or whatever, because now I understand the connection. What is it I'm trying to do?
And you want to help the body.
And you want to help the body.
Give everything you can to help it, because it's helping you. So why not help it out?
Right.
And I love the
bentonite.
I love the baths. I was doing them a lot when I first started, and I still every now and then, but I don't really like my tub, which shouldn't be an excuse, but your skin is the largest organ, so it's really, it feels so good. I like heat. I love to sweat. And then me and my husband had a steam box built, which we ain't really got it all the way together, but I used to go to the Y and sweat constantly. And I'm trying to tell you, the more that you do it, your body, like I can stay in there for an hour and be fine as long as I'm hydrated very well. I'm good. But the sweat in the tub, like you will see a difference in people that's really trying to shed that waste, which we call fat. This will help. You'll see results quick. So I love and then I had one already mixed up because I try to do my stuff in advance, but that's what it looks like, and you just pour it into the tub, and then I put a heater in the bathroom, shut the door, put a little
Create
towel,
a sauna.
yeah, put the rug up under because our door's kind of up, and I just barricade myself in there, and I'm like, when I'm done, I'm still sweating after I've come out and dried off, but that's a good thing. And I make some tea. I drink my tea, and of course I have my water and stuff in there, and I play my music, light some candles.
Relaxation.
Yeah, and I stay in there about 2.5 hours. Sometimes I don't even realize the time. But yeah, I love to do the bath and the steaming, and I can't wait. The sun's about ready to start. Just the sun bathe. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to get outside to do that. Yeah,
because all what's in nature is information for us. It does support our immune, and it does support our vitality. So I think we have covered much of what we want to talk about in terms of.
There was some stuff. I don't know if you want to do a part 3. I want to talk about some dry brushing, and I did bring up them, but we. It's already 9:00. I don't want to go over. We've already been in an hour, so.
Okay. All right, guys. It was lovely again. Appreciate you as always. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Yes. So you can get an alert when we're on every Thursday. And I know it's just two of us, because we just feel like we need to lay the groundwork for what we have done. But we definitely we have some people that we're going to interview and to figure out how we do that, because we're still getting used to this technology thing. Today we came on late because whatever wasn't populating. So, but anyway, y'all, till next time.
Yes, Ashe. Peace. Hey.